Hello, good afternoon, students. We thank God for bringing you back to school this second semester. This semester, we are going to look at another interesting topic, and that is under textile technology, fabric construction methods. Last semester, we look at how to process yarns. And before that, we look at what is textiles, the rationale for studying textiles, then what are textile fibers, their characteristics, and how to process the fibers to get the yarns. We also did some fabric decoration methods. So this semester, we are going to look at how to construct the fabric that you are going to use to produce your garment, the fabric that you are going to use to produce for the fabric decoration or others. How do we produce it? How do we construct it? So if you know how to construct it, it will help us to know how to use it and use it very well. So it's fabric construction methods. So what is fabric? We ask ourselves, what is a fabric? Fabric or cloth is a two-dimensional material that is created by interworking or interlacing or bonding fibers together. So fibers it may be natural fibers or man-made fibers. So natural fibers, we have example like cotton, wool, silk, and then the man-made fibers, we have synthetic and regenerated. The synthetic are the combination of chemicals, as we learned last semester, and the regenerated is the combination of natural fibers. Then chemicals have been added to change the original formation into a new one that is regenerated. An example is rayon, copramonium rayon, and others. So the main methods that we are going to look into this semester is weaving. We are going to learn about knitting. We learn about braiding, but we will not do any practical work on it. Lace making, netting, felting, bonding. You practice macrame. Macrame, example of knotted fabrics. So fabric formation start from preparing the raw material, that is the fibers, spinning them into yarns. Then after that, we can get the yarns to construct our fabric. So what is a yarn? What is a yarn? We can say that a yarn is a long strand of fibers twisted or spun together, used to construct fabrics through weaving, through netting, braiding, crocheting, netting, braiding, macrame, and all that. So yarns act as building blocks of most textiles. They are the building blocks that we build textiles on. So let's look at the types of yarns that we have. We have the spun yarns, we have filament yarns, we have textured yarns, we have novelty yarns or the fancy yarns. So the spun yarns are those we process, like cotton, flax, go through a whole lot of processes. Then we spin them to get the yarn to produce our woven fabrics. Then the filament yarns are artificial fibers. We process them. They are long continuous. And because they are artificial, they are very smooth and shiny. So we have silk forming part of the filament fibers. And so because of this formation, we use liquid. So they are also what? They also shine and slippery. And it's very long. And for that matter, we classify silk as a filament fiber. Behaves like a synthetic fiber. So the textured yarns, these are the modified yarns. They are yarns, but they have been modified. And some are very stretchy. Example, if the crocheting yarns, you see how fluffy the yarns are. It has been modified for specific purposes. Then we have the fancy ones. They are decorative they have decorative textures. And because of that, it is used to produce decorative ornaments. Characteristics of textile yarns. Yarn should be fine. I mean, fineness, the yarn. It should be very fine. So talking about how fine the yarn is, how heavy the yarn is, we use what is called yarn count. So it refers to the thickness or fineness of a yarn. So fine yarns produce light fabrics. Coarse yarns produce heavy fabrics. So knowing the yarn count is very good. Then elasticity, how elastic yarns are. So yarns must be elastic because of what we use them for. So if you talk of elasticity being the property or characteristics of a yarn or of a fiber, is the ability of a stretched yarn or fiber to return to its original position. Like if you wear fabric or you are in your garment and you bend, you get up, the fabric must be able to get up with you without bulging out. So that is the elastic feature that we are talking about here. So the yarn must have strength, able to hold you. Else, when you wear it and you just what walk, you stretch the yarn, the fabric will tear. So the fiber must have strength. And if the fiber is very strong, the yarn will also be hot, will be strong. So how will the yarn withstand tension during weaving and wear? So they must have strength. Evenness is another characteristic, the uniformity along the yarn's length. So they shouldn't be thick and thin. They should be very uniform, ensuring smooth fabric surface. The uses of yarns in fabric construction. So we have the yarn types. So the span yarn, the filament yarn, the textured yarn, and then the fancy yarn, how you use them. So the common use for the span yarn is for everyday fabrics, the calicos and others. Then the filament yarns are used for linings and lingering. Then you have the textured yarns for sporty wear, swimmers, then fancy yarns for upholsteries. So the good yarn choice will inform your good fabric quality. Now this will move us to yarn twist. We are talking about yarn quality. So how you spin or how you twist will determine the quality of the yarn. Okay, so we have yarn twist. So the way fibers turn or are twisted around each other to make a stronger thread or yarn is called the twist that we are talking about. So twist help the yarn stay together, become stronger, and feel smooth or fluffy. So depending on how much twist is what is used. So how if you twist and you twist it very well, You twist it high, it will give you that high quality yarn. You twist it low, it will give you that low quality yarn. Okay. So is this twist important? Why the twist? The twist adds strength, more twist, stronger yarn. It affects the appearance of the fabric or the yarn. It controls the smoothness or the fuzziness of the garment and controls the elasticity. It depends upon the amount of twist. So the proper twist allows stretchability of the garment or of the fabric or of the yarn, and it affects the feel of the yarn or of the fabric. So high twist, the fabric is very firm, crisp, and low twist, the fabric is soft and fluffy. So yarn twist is very important. You need to know as fabric users. So in all, we have two main types of twist. We have two main types of twist, and what are they? So we have the S twist and then the Z twist. So what is the S twist? S twist is also known as left twist, and it runs from lower right to upper left in the form of the letter X, as you can see. So you are saying that it runs from lower right. So where is your right? Here. So it moves back. So this one is called anti-clockwise. 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 Lower right to upper left. Right. So that is that is the S twist. The fiber spiral upwards. It moves upwards to the left, like the middle part of the letter S. And it is often used in ply yarns, putting two yarns together, ply and then you twist in that direction. So that's it. The yarn is a balance twist. It gives a balance twist. So let's look at the Z twist. This one is the regular one we are talking about. So the direction of the yarn is towards the right. Either than the other one, the direction is towards what? The left. It starts from the lower right to upper left. And this one starts from the regular distance. So the direction of the yarn is towards the right, and it is also called or the regular twist or the right twist. The fiber spiral or it turns upwards to the right, like the middle part of the letter Z, common for single yarns. So if you talk of single yarn, that's the first yarns. When we are spinning yarns, the first yarns that we spin are called singles. So mostly the Z twist start from when we are making yarn, the first yarns that we produce, that the single yarns. So it has an oblique line which runs from lower left to upper right. So that is the Z twist. So if you are turning, the amount of twist you inserted is very important, as I've already mentioned. So the lower twist, when you turn, it's when the turns are very low, it gives you fewer turns per inch, and that produces soft and fluffy yarns. And that one is used for knitting, like the crocheting yarns. Then you have the medium twist, that's the balanced one, used for most woven fabrics, the calicos and others. Then the high twist, turn it many times per inch. That one is very strong, very firm, and very smooth. It is used for a sewing threads. A sewing threads. Okay. A sewing threads. Okay. So let's see if we can demonstrate this ourselves. How to sketch the S twist and how to sketch the Z twist. Let's take our pencils and try our hands on how to sketch the Z and then the S twist, the two types of twist that we have. Okay, good. You show them to me when we meet the next time. Let's continue. So, fabric construction methods. Fabric construction methods, as I've already mentioned. In all, we have so many fabric construction methods. That is out of forming the fabric. So we have crocheting. Crocheting is a method of fabric construction and also fabric decoration, because what you see here is decorated, but you use what? The yarns. It's a fabric construction using different yarns at the same time. So crocheting can be fabric construction, and it can also be termed as well fabric decoration. Good. So if you talk of fabric decoration, that is the fabric is already there and we are decorating the fabric. Okay. So you have fabric crocheting items here. So this is the crocheting thread. It's fluffy. So now you can talk about it using the yarn twist, how it has been twisted, gives it the fluffy nature. And we have used it to produce this fabric. And we use a crocheting hook. This is the hook. So next week, when you are coming, you are supposed to bring one. You are going to learn how to construct the fabric using the crocheting hook. Okay. Then another method of fabric construction is knotting. That one too, you will do it. Example is macrame. Knotting is a method of fabric construction where yarns are tied together to form a patterned or decorative fabric. So knotting, one example of knotted fabric is macrame. And that one too, you go through it. The next one is knitting. Knitting, we use, if you use, knitting is just like crocheting. But crocheting, you use one needle. But with knitting, you use two needles in producing the fabric. So knitting involves creating fabric by interlocking loops. Interlocking loops. And crocheting involves creating fabric by interlocking loops. Okay, so you see they are all the same, but one uses what? This one uses one needle, and the other one uses two needles. That is the difference. Okay, so we have lacing. It's another fabric construction method. Lacing is a technique that involves threading a lace or cord through eyelet or holes or loops to fasten two pieces of fabric together or to create a decorative effect. That is netting. That is lace making. Okay. So after lacing, we have another one called braiding. So what is braiding? It's also it's just like plaiting your hair, also known as braiding, involves interweaving three or more strands of yarn, fabric, fabric stripes or other materials to create a flat, tabular fabric. So braiding, example of a braided fabric is your shoelace. Your shoelace is an example of a braided fabric. Look at how the shape is. The shape is. So you have the net. Net involves knotting yarns together at regular interval to form an open mesh fabric. So that is netting. Then we have the non-wovens. The non-wovens are the ones we use adhesives to bond the fibers together. We bond them together into a sheet-like a two-dimensional form, just like some carpets, then some blankets. Then you have tissues, you have pads. Yes, the tissue towels, they are all non-woven. You don't weave them, but they look like what? They look like a fabric. So at times we use heat to put the fibers together to produce that sheet-like structure. Okay. So the next that we can continue is the weaving. So what is weaving? That is something that we're going to stretch more time on. Weaving is a method of textile production in which two distinct sets of yarns or threads on the loom, known as the warp or the weft, as we will call warp and hot weft, are interlaced at right angles to create fabric or cloth. So you can see here. So those yarns pointing to the top are called the warp or warp threads. Then the ones using to weave in between interlacing is called weft. So we have the warp, vertical warp, and horizontal weft. Take note. Vertical warp. Don't we need not to interchange them. So we have the basic weaves. What are these basic weaves? These are the fundamental weaves upon which so many weaves have been built. So basically, we have three main basic weaves. We have the plain weave, we have the twill weave, we have the satin weaves. So a satin or satin, it talks about the faces. So when you produce the fabric, one side, you see more of the warp, the one going vertically. That side is called satin. Then you see another side, you see more of the weft, and that is what? Satin. So it's the same, but just that one side is different from the other, and that differentiates the name, satin and satin. So you have the plain with both the back and the front looks the same, and then the toe the same thing. But just the satin that have the differences. So when you talk about the basic weaves, so this is the plain weave. These are plain weaves. That's the basic one. So it's one up, one down, one up, one down, one up, one down, one up, just like you can see here. So in the weaving, you see one up, one down, one up, one down, one up, one down, one up, one down. Yes, in that direction, you get this, the same as this one. That is the plain weave. So with the plain weave, we can vary the plain weave to get plenty variations. So the basic is the up, one down. But apart from the one up, one down, what can we do to get different types? So we have the plain weave here. So you can extend the plain weave upwards. That is vertical. That is the warp. I hope now you know it. That is the warp. So you have the warp rip weave. So when you extend it on the warp side, it is called warp rip. And when you extend it on The weft side, it is called weft rib weave. Know the difference. When you extend this is the plain weave. You extend it to the top, that is vertical. It is called warp rib. Then when you extend the same thing to the left, that is the horizontal, it is called weft rib weave. I hope you know the difference now. So this one, you see, this is the basic one and has been extended, making it hot, looking very nice. So it's a variation. It is not just this. Something has been inserted to make it look hot, different from the original. And it's a variation. This one is a variation. Look at this one too. This one is called basket weave. Once you see here, I call basket weave. We have also extended the one to what? To 4 in a box. 4 over 4. 4 over 4. 4 over 4. So when we extend it, doubling them, it is called basket weave. Basket weave. Okay, let's look at another basket weave. So we have another basket weave here. Okay. So when we extend it, just 1, making just 2 over 2, 2 over 2. It is also basket weave. So it is what? Warp rib weave, and then this one to the horizontal side, weft rib weave. Then when you double them, 2 over 2. This one is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 4. So the basket weave, when you double them, is also called hop sack. Hop sack. Hop sack weaves. I hope you understand because you're going to do it right now. We're going to demonstrate it using the graph paper very soon. Okay, so let's look at the characteristics of the weaves. So 1, the plain weave is less elastic than other weave structures, and it is the simplest and the most firmest weave structure of all the weaves. So it is very smooth, and just as I've already said, it holds less elastic. It is very stable because of how we have the mode of construction, very strong. Okay, so that is the characteristics of the plain weave. So now, this is your practical work that you're going to do. So you take your graph book. I hope you have your own. I have given the books to the class rep to be given to you. I hope you have your own. So when you have your own, don't go and buy any graph book. You have graph books inside the handout. So you take it. Before you do any work using the graph book, you demarcate the area that you are working. So here you see I have demarcated this area. Let's count. 1, the small boxes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to the left, which is weft, so weft. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the weft. So I have 6 picks. So when you are counting them individually, the weft, they are called weft picks. So I have 6 picks. Then let's count to the vertical direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have what? 6 ends. So the warp, individual ones are called ends. So I have 6 ends. Okay. So here I have done my plain weave. I have demarcated my area. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 4 ends. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 picks. So this is my plain weave. So you can do the same plain weave here, another plain weave here, right? Then when you finish, you just copy, try as much as possible to learn how the warp rib weave is done up here. Then the weft rib weave, then the basket weave. You are doing all. You are showing them to me next week when we meet. Okay. Now let's move quickly to the twill weave. You'll finish right now. So the twill weave. The twill weave is produced by interlacing the warp and the weft yarns in such a way that the fabric produced has diagonal lines across it. You see diagonal lines across the fabric that you have produced. So the diagonal lines are called reels. So the fillings, that is if you are talking about the fillings, you are talking about uh, picks or fillings. So the filling thread pass over one or more warp threads, and then under group of threads, stepping one yarn space to the right. Please, stepping one yarn space. You step one yarn space. When you move to the right, you step one yarn space. You demonstrate it right now. To the right of the previous webbed yarn interlacing. So the different effects can be achieved by varying the interlacing of the yarns. So we are going to just use 2/2. So when you use the tool to produce the jeans. So your jeans, you just check how it is. The method of construction is twill. So the twill weave. So you just look at this. So this is 2/2. So the other one, the plain weave was 1/1, 1/1, 1/1. But here it is not like that. It's 1/1/2. It's over 2 here. And the hot. And 2/2. So it's 2/2. So you can see 2/2. 2/2. Eh? So 2/2. 2/2. And over the 2 here, please. When we start the demonstration, you will get to know this very well. So let's do our simple plain twill weave. So first is 2/2. So when you are going to the right, you step one, then you move to the next one. So 2/2. Then you step, then you move up 2/2. You step, you move one. That's what I was trying to. So it's 2/2. So you need to get 2 over another 2. Then you step down 1. Then you move up 2. So always with the two weave, they move together. Like someone is holding the next one's hand. There is no hot separation. So you start from 2. This one is holding another hand. Then this one is holding this hand. Then this one is holding this hand. And then this one is holding this hand. So it's just like a circle. There's no break. That makes this one different. And when you're able to do it very well, you see diagonal lines. You see diagonal lines. You see diagonal lines. And check here. We this one to use it to produce variation. So look at this 2/2, 2/2, 2/2 at this type, at this side. So this is what we have done here. So you can also double it. So this is when you bring it to, when you mirror it, you see, you turn it upside down here, you put them together, it will produce another different thing. So this is a variation. It's a variation. Take your time and just study it very closely. You see the fabric that you are wearing, it has gone through a whole lot. So when you are cutting it, take your time to cut because the construction is not easy. So you can see this one here. This one is called right hand twill. Right hand twill. It starts from the left to the right. So when you're doing the shading starts from the left to the right. Okay. So you can see the diagonal lines to the right. So 2/2/2/2/2/2, 2/2 to the right. Then that one is called right hand trail to the right. Then the one that goes from left to right is called left hand trail. So you can see the diagonal lines are rather going hot, the left direction. Okay, so when you put the two together, they move zigzag. Have you seen it? So the zigzag that you're seeing here is called a herringbone weave. So all these are hot variations in the twill weave, variations in the Twill weave. So the Twill weave can go in different directions and you can put them together. When you put them together, it produces a herringbone. You have different types, yes. So I want you to also go and practice. Okay, so let's look at the characteristics of this tool weave. The tool weave is used to produce ornamental designs. So it is very, or it is more durable than that of the plain weave. So you can see jeans. Jeans is very stable. It has a closer setting, greater weight, and better draping quality, more than the plain weave. They are heavier and stronger. Look at calico, comparing calico to that of what? Jeans. Jeans is very heavy and stronger. So they are heavier and stronger and can be used to produce fancy designs. It is good for men's clothing because they are heavy. Example is jeans, the gabardines, the khakis, and then the dungarees. Okay, so to this end, I want you to go and practice the tool weave. Practice the tool weave. The main 2/2 tool weave, then use 6/8, then 8/6. That if I say the first one is warp, 6/8. So it means the 6 warp ends, then 8 weft ends. Okay, I will just write them for you to the class rep so that you do it. So to this end, thank you and meet you next week. Bye. Hmm.